Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Blueprints. Blueprints is a game by indie developer Dogabomb and has been getting lots of critical acclaim already since release. So let's find out how this puzzle game differs itself from the usual to get such praise by first going over the gameplay. The gameplay of Blueprints is a puzzle adventure game that also happens to be a roguelike. The premise is that you have to navigate through a mansion, draft rooms each time you open a door, and try to find the secret 46th room. The roguelike part of this, however, is that each day the mansion resets itself and you must find a new path to tread. Rooms can be different types, ranging from simple hallways or corridors to rooms that give you resources or even rooms with a downside to them. There are plenty of types of rooms and each of them play their own role in helping you or limiting your movement throughout the mansion. Speaking of, you have a limited amount of steps that you can take each day, determined by how many rooms you enter. When your step count goes down to 0, you must end the day and start fresh on a new day. There are some resources you can obtain in the rooms, namely keys to open doors, gems to draft special rooms, coins to buy items, and tools with specific uses. Overall, the gameplay makes you be strategic about your movement throughout the rooms of the mansion while solving head-scratching puzzles. So why are we at the mansion anyways? The story of Blueprints is set in Mount Holly Manor, an estate that the character Simon has been entrusted by his late great-uncle. The catch is that in order to fully inherit the estate, the will stated that Simon must find the 46th room in one singular day. Simon arrives at the manor and is ready to explore, and along the way he will learn about the manor and his family's history. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
I do love me a good roguelike, and it's interesting to have it be done with a puzzle game because I'm not the best at puzzles. Not at least not in the right context. If it's in like the middle of an action game or something, and you stop me to do a puzzle, I'm gonna be a little mad.
You're like, I'm jumping
Fortunately-
directly to YouTube.
Exactly. Fortunately, this is in the right context because it is a puzzle game.
Yeah.
And it's just a unique take on a puzzle game as a result of that.
Oh, yeah,
But
definitely.
what did you feel about it, Chris? Did you get lost in the manor, or did you feel confused? I know I felt confused on some of these puzzles.
Yeah, what's the true definition of this game? It would be like what Chris Motionless said in a Motionless in White song. You give aspirin a headache. You know what I mean? Welcome to Blueprints, where you inherit a mysterious mansion and spend every day solving puzzles while slowly losing your sanity. It's like someone mashed up an escape room, a board game, and your least favorite group project and then made you play alone in silence, taking notes on your phone like a madman, Henrik.
Oh yes, and take notes you should, because the game even encourages this. In a couple of the rooms, it says, "Hey, you should actually have a notebook by you to write down things that you might think are important, because every little detail matters when it comes down to it." Oh yeah, that picture you saw? Yeah, it turns out that picture is actually part of a puzzle to open up a safe.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's like that. It's definitely very unique. I mean, especially when you see the setup of the game. You know, you play as some guy named Simon who inherits his uncle's magical Mount Holly estate because, of course, Henrik, you know, your one job is to find that mythical 46th room. Yeah, it sounds cool, right? Until you realize the layout resets every freaking night like a haunted Etch-a-Sketch. If you're into those kind of things, I don't know if I ever want to see one of those ever again in my life, because just when you think you're onto something, poof, it's gone instantly, back to square one. So hope you remember to screenshot everything like a lunatic.
Or what'll happen is you think you're making some good progress. You're getting some rooms out there that you're drafting, good ones. You're making good progress in the ranks, getting closer to the antechamber. And then the game starts throwing curveballs your way. Like, oh, we're going to throw a dark room here where you can't see what room you're trying to draft.
Unique.
Or you're going to get only rooms that have one entrance, meaning it's a dead end.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I got to go back and look and see if I missed anything. And if I didn't, I guess I got to come back.
And you're definitely going to miss a lot of things. A lot of things. It takes multiple days just to be able to kind of retrace your steps. I mean, you've only got 50 steps a day to explore Mount Holly. It's
Mhm.
a shifting mansion with 45 rooms. You have to view it like a 9x5 grid because, in the end, I mean, the key to your inheritance is finding out whether this 46th room even exists or not. So each room comes with doors pointing in random directions. So you're basically like a glorified hallway DJ, or, live out your dream of, building up your dream home. But then again, you start to find out real quickly, you don't get to decide. You have to find out the puzzle scheme to take you all the way to the top, because you're drafting rooms and praying that you don't walk face first into a closet. I mean, some rooms help, some of them are dead ends, and then just others just exist just to test how far you're willing to go for that sweet, sweet dopamine hit of maybe, just maybe, finally finding that room 46.
And what did you feel about the world building and the storytelling, Chris? I mean, it's one of those games that you're gonna have to take the time to read things. I know it's your favorite.
Well, I was actually going to tease you. I feel like this is the game that you can't stand doing, because I
Hey,
feel like you said it in the past pause or repeat. Maybe it was for Adamfall, that you're like, dude, even with the Skyrim lore, I wasn't reading any of those books. I could care less.
I
Now
mean,
you're forced to do
it's
it,
a little bit
Henrik.
of a different context. So, like I was saying at the beginning of this segment,
Okay.
if you're gonna pull me out of the action to make me read something, then I'm gonna get a little upset, or I'm just not gonna read it. I'm gonna toss it to the side and never think about it again. But in this context, it's like, okay, maybe I should stop and read because I'm already taking my time to look at everything. Why not take that 30 seconds to
But
read a piece of paper I find?
yeah, fair, Henrik. But like, didn't you feel like as you connect rooms and avoid dead ends, the game becomes more like you're Batman facing off against the Riddler, gassed out in Scarecrow's fear toxins? I mean, you're not just exploring, you're solving puzzles while mapping your path, while trying not to lose your mind. And it demands spatial reasoning, memory,
Hmm.
and the patience of a monk with a clipboard, which I clearly don't have. And so when the game throws you these very clever puzzles like the dartboard, I would say
Oh
math
yeah,
room, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like where colors mean different equations. Oh my gosh, my head hurts. I don't know if I want to revisit that, but for
Hey, once I
others,
figured that out, that was a breeze for me. Once I figured that one out, but
but
getting
didn't
to
it?
that point
Oh
was the difficult
gosh,
part.
it just really made me stay black. I mean, I got as far as geometry. Okay, all right. They're making me feel bad about how I succeeded in high school. Okay, but going back to what you said, the story, right? I mean, yeah, technically there is one, but like something with like a family secrets, political
Yeah,
drama, or a missing rider, whatever. I don't know, Henrik. I was too busy trying not to walk into a wall to care. I mean, this game again, it's definitely gonna test your patience. That's for
yeah.
sure. And I generally can't tell if I'm playing a game or slowly mapping out my descent into madness.
And the test of patience is going to be why this game is maybe not going to vibe with everyone,
Not everyone,
because
yeah.
if you're not willing to take that time to enter a room, taking all the details and see if you can find something like a key or hidden in a corner or a gem hidden on a table that you maybe would have walked by otherwise. If you're not that kind of person to do that, maybe this isn't going to be the game for you.
Bro,
It
you
is
know
a very
how
intriguing game, but you just have to take that into consideration.
bro, you know
Speaking
how
of,
well, I was gonna say real quick, Henrik, you know how long
yeah,
it took me to figure out what the blueprints uh actually means? I mean, say it
how
like
long?
really fast 3 times. Blueprints, blueprints, blueprints. What does that
Blueprints.
sound like? A
What does it sound like?
blueprint.
Yes.
Blueprint. You're building the blueprint to the house mansion.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I knew this game wasn't for me. It took me forever to figure that out. And so, in fairness, props to Blueprints for innovation. But the replay value, Henrik, like the replay value, let's just say it's stuck behind a locked door with no key in sight. For me, it's a pause. It definitely wasn't something that I wanted to revisit again. Definitely very innovative. I know some people are even hyping it up as game of the year. That might be too much of a bold statement, but I'm curious on how you're vibing with this game.
Yeah, it's a good take on a roguelike and the puzzle genre and meshing the two together. But I'm not really the kind of person to go out of my way to play puzzle games more than once in the first place. This one
Yeah.
tries to get rid of the, oh, I already know the solution sort of. thing, but it still is going to be a pause for me just because I'm not so excited to go back into it after beating it one time, you know?
Well, you probably got so frustrated when you walked into that dark room and you were like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that the generator had a switch to turn the lights
Yeah.
on. And I ran out of steps, and do I have the will, the way to make another day, to keep pushing on forward for the 46th room. But hey, we want to know from you, the gamers, if you have played Blueprints, are you vibing with this game? I mean, or is does it have that replay factor for you, or is it a pause to play something else? Let us know what's good.